Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday, Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's time for Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar and Six Pack Store. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
I'm God.
Oh, you had a direct.
It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store in downtown Blacksburg, with the return of the bottle cap shooters. And
Every
yes,
time I'm
dude, what are you doing
like,
wrong?
what,
You are doing
you
something wrong.
shaking these up when
Of
I'm not
course, I'm
looking?
not shaking them up. I wouldn't ruin beer just for a stupid spill on you bit. But you're are you handling them? Or do you get excited? Look at this beer! Oh, and like next thing you know, because
Well,
I swear the
every
ratio, it does
time-
happen once maybe a year to me, but for some reason it seems like every show you
I'm not even aggressively. Oh, I don't understand.
is it, are well, I know that you're a pro at this now. Did you get it on? Do you need a paper towel, or is it all just on
We're
the
good.
carpet?
It's all on the carpet.
Always all on the carpet. Okay, well,
It does happen to me a great deal in my personal life as well. So maybe like there needs to be like a tutorial on how to properly open a beer. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I have no idea, and that's one of those things that I don't think they really just that you can teach. I think it's you naturally you just do it from experience and stuff. But it is Brews Day Tuesday, and we are going to be drinking beers from the Maine Beer Company, which, if you're familiar with the world of craft beer, you've probably come across Maine Beer Company in your, endeavors of drinking and pursuing good craft beer. I've had a few of their things. I want to say maybe the first and the main one that I think of, no pun intended, is Lunch. I know that they have like the lunch beer, I think they have lunch and dinner. There's probably a breakfast. I don't know if I've had that one. But basically, they're known for their just sort of plain white labels. Uh, as we have talked about and actually mentioned it in the promos, like they sort of let the label or let the beer do the talking. Like, it's just very simple, very plain, which to me is really cool and stands out. This first round is going to be IPAs. I just opened up Little Whaleboat, which I'm sure they do explain, which it is right here on the back. Little Whaleboat Islands, made up of a little whaleboat, Nate and Tuck, are a cluster of 3 small islands and ledges in Casco Bay, a vital link to the chain of protected islands conserved by Maine Coast Heritage Trust. Protection of these islands provides sanctuary to a range of wildlife, including seals, seabirds, shorebirds, and wadding birds, while preserving a unique place off the coast of Maine for future generations to experience. They also tell you to do what's right there on the label. They thank you for drinking their beer. You enable us to continue to do what's right, take care of the earth and creatures that live on it, take care of our staff, and keep making better beer. One thing that I did notice about this, it also has a born on date, which is the 23rd of August. I think yours has a born on date as well. And it says, drink this beer fresh within 90 days of the stamped born on date. So I'm knocking at the door. August, September, October, November. Oh, I've passed the 90 days.
Uh-oh.
Just past 90 days. I should not have been sitting on these beers as long as I did. I did not. If I looked at the label, we would have done this show a lot sooner. I apologize. But yours, I think, is in the clear, right? Yours is more.
It is. The born on date 13th of September. So September to October, November to December. We are just
You made it
skirting
in.
the line.
You made
we
it
made
in.
it in. This is the Wolf's Neck India Pale Ale, and of course, yeah, as he mentioned, the label does kind of just let the beer do the talking. And this one, gift to the people of Maine and its visitors. The region known as Wolf's Neck reminds us of the importance of protecting land for future generations to experience and enjoy. All right, they wrote that up. It's pretty, it's beautiful. And then they're like, yeah, we said what we could, but let's throw a quote in here. We've dropped a pebble. Now we have to see where the ripples go. Eleanor Houston Smith. Thank you for drinking our beer. You enable us to continue to do what's right, take care of our earth and the creatures that live on it, take care of our staff, and to keep making better beer. 6.5% ABV. And I mean, Beautiful, beautiful packaging.
Yeah,
Elegant.
Mine's 6.5 as well. It'll be interesting to see how these differ because they seem very similar in everything, basically, even color. It doesn't really delve into like hops and stuff on here, does it? So, yeah, I'm not too
You
sure.
want to keep it secret like the 11 herbs and spices.
Wow, perhaps you're right. So, Maine Beer Company. Yeah, the obvious question: have you been to Maine?
I have not.
All right, neither have I. So, moving on. Yeah, I have. I honestly, I feel like I'd really like Maine, but probably not this time of the year. I don't know if I'd want to travel to Maine right now. I bet that's pretty gnarly.
I mean, I'll do you one better. My knowledge of Maine is like very much so like the stereotypical they have lighthouses and they have lobster.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Kerouac lived there, and that's
You're
Stephen
already
King lived there too. So I think he still does.
Oh yeah, isn't
It's
like
about the end.
Isn't there a fictional like basically all of his books take place in
Yeah.
a fictional town in Maine, right? So
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. I think I'm Mained out other than that. State capital?
Banger? Maybe? I don't know.
I don't think it's Bangor because I should know this because I like learned the state capitals on the RV trip. But man, I'm drawing a blank right now. I want to say it's I don't know. Come back to me. Let me think on that a little bit.
Bangor is the only city in Maine I could actually
I don't
name.
think
And
it's
like this is right in front of me, and they're not in Bangor.
I definitely
Freeport.
I don't think it's Freeport or Bangor.
All right. Well,
If I heard it, I would.
we're
know
done
it.
here.
If I heard it, I would know it. But speaking of the RV trip, so we we didn't go up to the New England area on the trip. However, I think we're gonna maybe try and do some of that next year, like in the summertime. Obviously, you're not gonna want to go to Maine. I mean, that's the
No.
time to get up there. So maybe hopefully this time next year I will have a Maine bottle cap on the map, which I would imagine it probably will be the Maine Beer Company. Although I shot the cap at you. Is it a cool cap? I didn't even really take a look at it. Is
I
it?
shot the cap at you, and
Oh.
of course it landed on my side upside down. So
I don't know where mine.
it had
ended up.
something on it. It
Oh, I
was
guess
silver,
yours.
and it had. I'm gonna try and describe it. I think there was like a fish.
Yeah, I don't know where the
But
one
could
that
be
you
wrong.
shot at me.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
We'll update you next.
We got
segment.
more Maine beers on the next segment as well. But
My dad went on his honeymoon with my stepmom to Maine, and they of course, like me, my stepbrother, my sister, they wanted to bring us home all souvenirs, and apparently they thought I was really into lighthouses. So I have a book about lighthouses of Maine. I still have the book, but I can be honest with you.
did you learn anything from the
Nope.
book?
I've probably never ever cracked it,
Oh,
other than to look at the pretty pictures of lighthouses. So that's where like a quarter of my main knowledge comes from.
yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but they're known for it for a reason. Like I'm sure it's probably the state that has the most per capita or per land, square mile or whatever. Lighthouses are pretty cool, man. I've been in, I think, in numerous lighthouses. Have you ever been like actually or to the top of a lighthouse?
Several, and they all claim they're haunted. Like you go on the tour, and they're always like, "Yeah, it's haunted."
Well, it's because
What are the odds that someone actually died here in this lighthouse?
well, I'd say pretty heavily because back in the day, there was always somebody like it was like a 24/7 thing. Like somebody had to man the lighthouse, and surely you go up there and you're bored, you're there alone, so you're drinking. Obviously, this is back in the day. Someone's gonna fall off that lighthouse at some point and die. Every lighthouse has had somebody die in it, I bet. Or not maybe in it, but next to it.
I will say, I do. There is a little bit of a fascination with lighthouses for me. John Carpenter put out a movie called The Fog.
Mhm.
I think may have been a remake, but that's neither here nor there. Of course, it takes place in a radio station at the top of a lighthouse, and I've always thought to myself, that would be the coolest place. Like, if we weren't where we were at, put us in a lighthouse. Hell yeah.
A lighthouse right in the middle of the New River, a river lighthouse.
Completely impractical, but it would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be a sweet spot for a station. Yeah, I'd be down. I like lighthouses. I think they're cool. Like I said, I've been up a few on my travels and stuff, and like I said, I think Maine would be a cool spot. And one of the best things about the idea of doing on this trip sometime next year is New England IPAs, I love it so much. And it's funny because, this is Maine New England. I don't even know what constitutes New England area of, I guess, the states. Definitely Boston.
or
Massachusetts.
New Hampshire, Rhode Island, maybe.
So not Maine.
I don't.
you don't think?
I wouldn't. Maine's Canada Junior, I think.
Yeah, that Maine might be pushing it, but either way, we'd be going through there. So I would love to hit up that area where the Vermont, where just all those great IPAs are, where they don't even call them New England IPAs, they just call them IPAs.
Does Vermont really have a good beer scene? I feel like they're all focused on like maple syrup.
I would assume so. I mean, I just because of Heady Topper alone, like I mean, there's
That's a good
to
point.
me that must be like a beer mecca.
Yeah.
I don't know. You would maybe. I don't know if they'd be like the biggest and best around there and just and crush the competition, but surely I think it's because that's just the cream of the crop and there's a lot of good stuff up there. I don't know. I've never been. I have been to Vermont, but I haven't been to Vermont since I've been a craft beer guy. I think I went like in high school. So unfortunately did not get to. And plus this would have been before all the, that would have been early 2000s before the big craft beer boom.
How many trips did you go on like while you were underage that you're like, man, I would have enjoyed this so much more as an adult? Because like in my brain, like we went to Seattle at least 3 times before I was 21. And then like going after I was 21, way more fun. I thought Seattle was cool before I turned 21, but man, you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a good question. I've actually haven't really thought of the main one that stands out is I remember going to New Orleans for the national championship game when Tech played FSU. And I was like, 13 or something. And we even went on Bourbon Street, but I hated it because A, I couldn't drink or nothing. And B, this was 1999. So I was wearing those huge like Jinko jeans. I think they were actually pipeline jeans.
What was the circumference of the ankle sleeve?
Those ones were probably like 30s or something, but that's not the kind of pants you want to wear on Bourbon Street. That is nothing
Soaks
but
up everything,
just booze and just disgusting. So I was just having to walk around holding my jeans up and just like hating. I was just like, this sucks. Like, if I was a little older for that one, I probably would have had a bit more fun. Other than that, I mean, that's the big one that stands out to me.
I had Vegas and Seattle. I've still not been back to Vegas, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if I could, walk into a casino.
Yeah. That's
like,
true.
I don't even like gambling, but if I go in with like $50 and I'm going to hit up a craps table or something and I'm going to get free drinks, then that $50 was worth it. So Vegas would also be. I went to Vegas to see Sully Erna's acoustic show, which was really cool. But during the day, basically before the show, there was nothing I could do in the area.
When was this? Like you talking about recently?
2000. It would have been 2008.
Were you
probably September?
So you weren't 21 yet.
No, I wasn't even 18 yet.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. If you're in Vegas, you're gonna want to be older. Yeah,
cool show still, but
I mean, there's cool stuff to do, I'm sure. But if you want to do it, you're gonna want to do it. Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm digging on this IPA. I know this might be not within the 90 days, and full disclosure, so these beers did come from the Cellar Restaurant 6-pack store. Although, and I guess it'll be easy to tell. I had, I think, 2 for a long time, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just pair them with another pair to do a show. And then I got a 3rd one, so I was like, okay, well, now I need a 4th. So then I finally got the 4th one not too long ago. So it'll be easy to tell which is the newest of the batch. But yeah, Mikey, they do have some Maine beers down there. So it's not that they're selling, beers that have been sitting on the shelf too long or anything like that. It was my fault that these have been sitting, waiting for me to figure out what, if I could get a 3rd or a 4th or whatever. Yeah, I got a bad habit of that, man. Sitting on beers too long. Some beers can do that, but for the most part, you want to drink them sooner than later. So I'm trying to be better about that. Another fun fact, not a fun fact, PSA tidbit, that I honestly, I did bad with these and I'm never going to do it again. But somebody pointed out that, and I've been doing it. I'm guilty. You don't want your beers to go cold and then warm. So you don't put them in the fridge until you're ready to drink them. But what you don't want to do is keep them on top of the fridge while you're waiting, because the top of the fridge gets
heats
pretty
up.
hot. Yeah. So a lot of these beers have been sitting on top of my fridge. So no more. I no longer keep beers on top of the fridge. And I suggest everybody else does the same. If you're waiting to put beers in to get cold, just find somewhere else.
So
not on top of the fridge.
I'm going to be honest with you. It makes sense, but I never would have second guessed it.
I never thought about it either
Yeah.
until somebody mentioned that. I can't remember who it was, but somebody pointed out, and it might not even have been, I think they were talking about wine, saying that you shouldn't keep wine on the top of the fridge. I was like, oh yeah, you shouldn't keep beer up there either. And once I thought of that, I quit doing it. But unfortunately, that was just a month or two ago.
So that's why it exploded.
Yeah. Well, these ones, unless this was the new one, but it wasn't, because this is the oldest one.
These are the ones sitting right at the back of the fridge. I know what you did.
I don't know.
You did set me up.
Either way, man, the beer's fantastic. Maine Beer Company, they definitely know what they're doing. And they're doing some nice, crisp IPAs. This one, I don't think I mentioned it, is 6.5% as well. I'd be interested to try yours to see and just compare and contrast, because I got a feeling they might be somewhat similar. But the little whaleboat is it's just damn good beer, man. This is easily, oof. I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I'm excited to try these next ones. I'm trying to remember all the different styles I've had from Maine, and I don't think I've had any of the styles that we're going to try next. So I want to leave a little wiggle room, because I got a feeling that might be even better.
So, I mean, at the beginning of the segment, we kind of pointed out that they let the beer do the talking. That's not to take away from their labels, which are elegant and magnificent. Maine Beer Company, their beers have been a staple of things that I'll throw in like holiday 6-packs to give to people, because they do make such a great product. This, of course, no different. Wolf's Neck India Pale Ale. It's going to get, and I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to gamble on this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4.75.
I saw that coming. I almost gave this a 4.7,
yeah.
but I was kind of torn.
Because, I mean, it's delicious. It's crisp. It's refreshing. And
I held it up.
You get your bang for your buck.
If you're watching on the Facebook Live or the YouTube, I was just holding up my glass, because look at that, just remnants lacing. That's how you know that's a good IPA that I just drank. I mean, that just looks. That's how a beer glass is supposed to look once you finish a beer. So fantastic. Next, we're gonna switch the style completely and go a little darker on Brewsday Tuesday.
How much more black could it get?
Yeah, you're gonna find out. Stick around.